My name is Brendan Mulhern and I'm a Research Fellow in Health Economics here at the University of Sheffield. I'm also the module lead for the module Patient Reported Outcomes and Utility Data in Health Technology Assessment, which is part of the International Health Technology Pricing and Reimbursement Distance Learning course run by staff here at ScHARR. Now, the aim of this module is to explore specialist topics around the assessment and methods used for the generation of utility data for use in health technology assessment. We also explore how this data is used in decision making based on the economic evaluation of treatments and interventions across a range of conditions. Now, the module has 6 different sessions and each session lasts for 2 weeks. The first session is a general introduction to patient reported outcome measures, where you'll learn about the general concept of outcome measurement, the different sorts of measures that are used and the different sorts of domains that are assessed. The second part of the first session focuses on the actual assessment of these measures, and we'll look at various psychometric tests including reliability, validity, responsiveness and the practicality of the measures to patients. We'll also give students a chance to actually assess a measure against criteria laid out by various organisations. The second session also has 2 parts. The first part looks in detail at the QALY framework and possible alternatives to this. The second part looks at various methods for valuing health to actually generate utility scores. The methods that we'll look at include the time trade-off, standard gamble, person trade-off and discrete choice experiments. We'll look at the pros and cons of each sort of method and how this impacts on the actual utility value generated. We'll also look at key issues in the area, for example, whether value should come from the general population or patient groups. The third session looks at development and pros and cons of generic preference-based measures such as EQ5D. EQ5D is the measure recommended to produce utility values for health technology assessment in the UK by the National Institute of Health and Clinical Excellence. We'll also look at other generic measures such as SF6D and the Health Utilities Index. The fourth session will look at alternatives to the use of generic preference-based measures to produce utility values. This includes mapping between condition-specific measures and the utility scale, which is NICE's second preferred option. And we'll also look at the development of condition-specific preference-based measures from existing measures of health-related quality of life. And we'll go into this in some detail. Session 5 covers the key issue of value-based pricing and how to actually value the wider societal benefits for issues currently not captured in cost-effectiveness analysis. Such issues might include burden of illness or therapeutic improvement. In the final session, you'll learn about the use of utility data by different agencies around the world and the actual requirements of these agencies. The course is led by myself, and other tutors on the course include Professor John Brazier, Dr. Clara McCurrier, Dr. Jill Carlton, Dr. Catherine Stevens and Dr. Andrew Keither-Ruth. Teaching will be a combination of online lectures, reading, discussion boards, and we'll also have a live seminar where everyone will get together to discuss one of the key issues from one of the sessions. If you have an interest in the generation and use of patient-reported outcomes and utility data in HTA and the interpretation of this data and how this impacts on decision-making around the world, please consider doing this module where you'll gain a thorough grounding in all the issues.